My wife didn't leave me flowers or apologies the morning she disappeared. She left me a cold bed, a missing wedding photo, and farm accounts I suddenly couldn't touch. By sunrise, I realized Karen hadn't just walked away from our marriage. She might have taken my father's farm with her. Let me take you back to how it all started. I used to think I understood silence. Farm men learn that early. There's good silence and bad silence. Good silence is before dawn, when frost sits over the fields and the cattle haven't stirred yet. Bad silence is when something living stops making the sound it always made. That morning, the farmhouse felt wrong before I even opened my eyes. I woke up around 4:30 because the room felt colder than usual. The wind tapped soft against the old window above our bed. The furnace hummed downstairs. I reached for Karen's side without looking. Cold, not recent cold, hours cold. I sat up slow, my joints reminding me of every year I've worked land and machines that never cared how tired I was. Karen sometimes woke early, especially during tax season. She handled the paperwork, the loans, the insurance, everything with numbers. I handled the land. That balance worked most of our marriage. At least I believed it did. I got dressed and stepped into the hallway. That's when I stopped. The wedding photo was gone. Not broken. Gone. It had been there 21 years, above the hallway table, next to Nicole's school pictures and an old church calendar Karen never let me throw away. Now the wall looked empty in a way that didn't feel real. My stomach tightened. Downstairs, I smelled coffee. A mug sat in the sink, still wet. Then I saw the note, folded beside the sugar jar. Samuel, I need more than this life. I can't stay buried in dirt and debt anymore. Please don't make this harder. Karen. I read that last line again and again. Don't make this harder. Like she was stepping out of line at a store, not leaving a marriage. My phone buzzed, loan alert. Then another. I opened the banking app. My chest dropped. Farm operating account restricted. Equipment payment overdue. 2 transfer requests pending that I never approved. I blinked and refreshed the screen. Same thing, same numbers, same warning. I leaned on the counter without realizing it. My hands stayed there longer than they should have. Outside the window, the barn sat still under a dark sky. For the first time in my life, it didn't feel like my land. I don't remember grabbing my coat. I was just outside, walking. Gravel under my boots, cold air in my face, that Iowa smell of wet soil and grain. Everything looked normal. That was the worst part, because normal meant something was already wrong. I inherited Reed Farm from my father 12 years ago after cancer took him too fast. We had more land then, 240 acres, not anymore. Farming takes piece by piece when you're not watching closely. Karen and I kept it going together, or I thought we did. By 5:30, I was in the equipment shed calling her. Voicemail. Again, no answer. I called Nicole next. She picked up half asleep. Sam? She always called me Sam, never stopped, even after years. You with your mom? I asked. A pause. No. Why? My eyes stayed on my father's old tractor. Your mom left. Silence, long enough that I checked the screen. Then Nicole spoke. Quiet. She actually did it. Those words didn't make sense at first. What do you mean? Nothing, she said too fast. I'm coming home. She hung up. Nicole came back from a friend's place before sunrise practice. She walked in around 7, hair tied messy, hoodie half zipped. She didn't look at me at first, just the hallway. The picture's gone, she said. I watched her face carefully. You knew something? She dropped her bag slowly. I knew they were fighting. They, she hesitated. Mom, and Brent. The name landed heavy. Brent Collins. Real estate investor. Expensive boots. Too confident. The kind of man who talked like land was something you flip, not something you live on. I never trusted him. You're saying she left with Brent? Nicole didn't answer right away. I think so. My mouth went dry. Then she added, quieter. I tried telling you, she kept talking about starting over. That hit harder than anything, because I remembered now. The late calls, the quick exits, the way Karen stopped sitting at dinner the same way. I just called it stress. By 9, the seed supplier called. His voice wasn't normal. Sam, everything okay over there? Why? Some delayed payment notices came through. My hand tightened. Delayed by who? A pause. I thought you knew. By noon, more came out. Equipment payments missed. Insurance gaps. Money moved between accounts I rarely checked because I trusted her with it. Trust makes you blind in places you shouldn't be. By afternoon, people started acting different. I stopped at the feed store. 2 men at the counter got quiet when I walked in. That kind of quiet sticks with you. Not loud enough to hear, but loud enough to feel. That night, Nicole picked at her food. She didn't eat much. Mom told people you want to sell, she said. I looked up. What? She said you're tired, that you can't handle it anymore. I set my fork down. Who told you that? Kids at school. That's when I understood something was already moving without me. The next week felt like standing in rising water. Karen didn't answer. Brent didn't answer. But everything else kept coming. Bills, notices, questions, then church. I almost didn't go. But my father used to say routine keeps a man from breaking. So I went. Same building, same chairs, same people, but not the same eyes. People looked at me longer than they used to. After service, a woman I've known for years touched my arm. Marriage problems are complicated, Samuel. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. She added softly, sometimes women leave when they don't feel safe. I froze. Safe? She didn't answer. Just walked away. That was the first time I understood something simple. Karen wasn't just gone. She was talking. And I wasn't in her story the way I thought I was. That afternoon, Nicole came into the shop while I worked on a hydraulic line. She stood there, arms tight around herself. Mom said you control the money. My wrench stopped. What? She didn't say it like that, she said quickly, but that's what people think. I looked down at the oil-stained floor. Nicole's voice dropped. They're saying you ruined her life. That one stayed with me longer than I expected. Not because I cared what people thought, because she had to hear it. A few days later, my lawyer called. Denise Walker. Straight to the point. Samuel, did you authorize land sale paperwork? I almost laughed. What paperwork? Silence. Come in, she said. The folder was already on the table when I arrived. I opened it. Karen's signature. Brent's company name. Property forms. Valuation sheets. Auction language. My throat went dry. No sale yet. But it was already being built. I drove home without music. That night, Nicole sat beside me on the porch. She held a laptop. I didn't tell you something. I looked at her. She swallowed. Months ago, I saw Mom and Brent arguing over papers. She hesitated. I saved screenshots. My chest tightened. What kind of screenshots? She opened the laptop. Contracts, messages, maps, emails with deadlines and pressure. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. You had this the whole time? I didn't know what it meant, she said. I just knew it felt wrong. That was the moment everything changed. Not anger, clarity. This wasn't sudden. It was planned. The next morning, an old county clerk called me. Harold Bennett, he knew my father. His voice was low. "Samuel, I probably shouldn't say this, but your property filings looked off." I stayed quiet. He continued, "Your wife and Brent requested access more than once." When I hung up, something inside me settled. I stopped calling Karen after that. Stopped asking, stopped waiting. I hired Denise fully. We checked everything, account by account, signature by signature. Then Karen finally called. Late night. Her voice softer than I remembered. "Samuel, where are you?" I asked. "That doesn't matter." "It mattered when you used my name on paperwork." Silence. Then, "You could make this easier." I let out a short breath. "You left the house, you took my accounts, you left with Brent, and now you want easier?" Her voice changed. "You never understood me," I answered quiet. "Maybe not, but I understand signatures." She hung up. And I slept better than I had in days, not because things were good, because I stopped chasing. A week later, she came back. Nicole saw her first. She froze on the porch. Karen stepped out of Brent's truck, wearing clothes I didn't recognize. She looked put together, but not steady. "I want to talk," she said. "Talk," I answered. She looked toward the house. "You could sell part of the land. Start fresh." "Start fresh where?" "Brent has plans." That said enough. I looked out at the fields. "This land buried my father." She crossed her arms. "And it buried us, too." Nicole stood behind me now. Karen saw her. "Sweetheart." Nicole didn't move. Karen looked back at me. "You're turning her against me." I shook my head. "No, you did that." She left. 2 weeks later, we sat in a courtroom. Cold morning, small room, Nicole beside me, Denise in front, Karen and Brent across. Everything came out piece by piece. Money movement, emails, screenshots, then the recording. Brent's voice filled the room. "Once read signs or defaults, we move the land through LLC transfer. Karen doesn't need details yet." The room went silent. Karen turned toward him, slow. "What?" Brent didn't answer. That's when I saw it clearly. She wasn't just betraying me, she was being used too. Not innocent, just caught in something bigger than she understood. After the hearing, she found me outside. Her face was tired now. "Samuel, please." I waited. "He lied to me." I nodded once. "He lied to both of us." Her voice broke. "I need help." That used to be enough to pull me back. Not anymore. "You needed him when you signed," I said, her eyes filled. "You'd leave me with nothing?" I looked at her a long moment. "You already tried to leave me with nothing." Then I walked away. Weeks passed. Brent got investigated. Karen disappeared from conversations. People in town adjusted their stories like they always do. Some apologized. Most didn't. The farm survived. Barely. We sold land, paid debt, lost more than I wanted to lose, but stayed standing. One evening, Nicole and I fixed a broken fence together. She looked at me. "I thought you were going to give up." I kept working. "So did I." She nodded slowly. "Glad you didn't." Then came another morning. Same silence, same cold air. For a second, it felt like before. Then a tractor started, metal, engine, life. Nicole's voice from the barn. "Sam, you coming or what?" I stepped outside. Sunlight hit the fields, smaller now, but still ours. She was on the tractor already. I climbed up beside her. The engine shook under us. And I finally understood something simple. You don't win this kind of fight by breaking someone else. You win it by staying when everything tries to make you leave, and not disappearing with what they tried to destroy.